Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I just want to take a moment of silence to acknowledge the tragedy that happened on Smackdown. Sami Zayn, the horrible person that he is, murdered brutally the Gingerbread Man on live TV. It was a short life that he lived. He deserved so much longer of a life, and he was beloved by everyone. I think it's so unfortunate to see someone like this pass away so early when they had such a long life left to live. But let's just take a moment of silence. Please join me in this moment of silence to honor the tragedy that happened to the Gingerbread Man. Thank you. Now let's get into the video. Smackdown is over. Let's talk about it. The show kicked off with undisputed champion Cody Rhodes, who revealed he was medically cleared and then was interrupted by the absolute Ricky Saints. I love Ricky Saints so much, and I am so excited for this feud. They already have chemistry from their feud in AEW. This is just going to be incredible. They're both great at like everything. So I can't wait to see this feud continue. They ended up announcing a match for later in the night, which we are going to talk about right now. A really solid match. You could tell that they had chemistry, and Cody Rhodes ended up picking up the win cleanly, which I don't really understand all that much, because how is Ricky Saints going to justify going after the title now? Either way, a really fun segment and match, and I hope that this feud does actually continue. However, the more interesting part probably came after the match, where Gunther came in and attacked Cody Rhodes. Now, I just have one question about this. Why? It makes absolutely no sense. Gunther's trying to kill careers, yet is going after a championship. Why? This is why you don't back yourselves into a corner with naming someone the career killer and making that their entire gimmick. Because now, if they're not killing a career, it just feels wrong and doesn't make any logical sense. And where is Randy Orton? Why is he not here attacking Cody Rhodes? Why are Gunther and Ricky Saints now feuding with Cody Rhodes? When is Randy Orton gonna come back? I hated this part. Makes no sense. And like, I just don't know what you're gonna do. Next, we had a match between Jacy Jayne and Charlotte Flair. Jacy Jayne wrestling one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time, her 1 week after debuting. That is insane. So happy for her and Fatal Influence. And she actually ended up picking up the win over one of, if not the greatest female wrestler of all time, a week after debuting on the main roster. That is insane. It wasn't a clean win. Fatal Influence helped a lot, but it was a win. A win is a win over Charlotte Flair. I can't wait to see where they push Jacy Jayne with this momentum. Hopefully, they don't waste it, because she is on a roll right now. After the match, Fatal Influence started beating up Charlotte Flair, and then Rhea Ripley came out and made the save. They shook hands, giving us a 6-woman tag match next week, I believe. Next, we just had a hilarious segment between Danhausen, The Miz, and Kit Wilson. It was hilarious. It was awesome. They faked The Miz actually joining up and mentoring Danhausen, and they just attacked him. And they officially announced at Backlash, there's going to be a tag match featuring The Miz and Kit Wilson going up against Danhausen and a mystery partner. Let me know who you think Danhausen's mystery partner could be. I think maybe Joe Hendry, maybe a Minihausen. I really don't know, but I'm super excited to find out. And I just loved this segment. I was laughing my ass off. However, before we get into the next segment, be warned that there's extremely graphic content coming up. You've been warned. Next, we had a promo with Sami Zayn, and he cut the most serious promo I have ever seen on the Gingerbread Man, and then proceeded to hit a low blow on the Gingerbread Man after pretending to make up with him. Just an absolutely disgusting act from Sami Zayn. And then proceeded to quite literally beat him to death, unfortunately. Trick Williams, he came out eventually to make the save, scary Sami Zayn off, but unfortunately he was just a little bit too late, and the Gingerbread Man unfortunately ended up passing away, as I'm sure you know. This segment was hilarious until he fucking killed the Gingerbread Man. But other than that, it was hilarious. And Trick Williams putting up the X for the Gingerbread Man. Oh my god, it was so funny. I love this. And they're getting a rematch at Backlash between Sami and Trick for the US title. I can't wait. Hopefully the Gingerbread Man dying is just hopefully it's one big hoax and he ends up returning at Backlash or something like that. But for now, rest in peace, Gingerbread Man. You rest in pieces. You will be missed. And in the main event, we had a tag match between the Usos and MFT, that being Solo and Hikuleo. It was a really solid match. It ended up in a DQ because of Jacob Fatu attacking Solo and Talatanga. He had a nasty Samoan drop on Hikuleo through the announce table, Hikuleo. And it was awesome. I really liked this. Again, they are really building up Jacob Fatu to look like an absolute monster heading up into his match with Roman Reigns. He stared down the Usos and then hit the hit his emote where he shakes his hair, shakes his dreads, and then bumped into them and walked past them. And then before he left, he said, "Tell Roman Reigns I'm gonna dog walk his ass." I am so excited for this match. Like I said, I do think there is a very small chance that Jacob Fatu does win. It's a very small chance. Very small. But I think there's a chance. Let me know your thoughts on this episode of Smackdown. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want. And